Get your ATG going.
Pick out a piece of paper.
Plug up your Cricut.
And let's get started.
Good evening, guys. May here. I feel like it's been forever. It's only been 2 weeks since I put a video up, but it feels like forever, and I really don't know why, except I've had kind of a creativity block, like writer's block. I think I've had. So I don't know, I've just been struggling a little bit with that. I don't know if you guys ever do that. Let me know if you do. It may just be me, but I struggle sometimes with, oh, they don't want to see me do the same thing somebody else does, or trying to be creative outside the box, you know, so that you guys can see something different. But I think about, you know, I like to see people just make cards and just do things normal. So I may get to that too, but for tonight I want to do something a little different. Now, you may remember, or you may not, but my very first video I ever did was a Halloween pumpkin made of orange slices, and I'll link that in the info bar below. So I wanted to kind of do a Halloween pumpkin 2.0, if you'll go with that. So this is what I've come up with. Let's see if you can see it. It is made from scallop circles, and it's orange, and it's got some little leaves up here at the top, and inside, I want to see if you can hear it. Inside of it is candy, a lot of candy, and I'm actually going to show you that as we get started. So let's look at what products you're going to need. First, you're going to need some good adhesive that dries quick. This is Tombow Mono, and it's a wet adhesive. It doesn't have to be wet, just a good quick drying adhesive, whatever you like best. I used a 2-inch scallop circle, so tonight when you see me do this, know that mine was a 2-inch scallop, and this is from close to my heart, but I think a lot of people make the 2-inch scallop. I'm also going to make use of this EK Success flower, or I don't know, I can think it'd be flower or leaves punch. I do not know the name of it, and it's not on here, but it's an EK Success border punch that you can roll up to look like a flower or leaves. And then I'm going to use a bone folder, just the bone folder. You're going to need a piece of green paper, and this is for the leaves, so you don't need a whole lot. That's like a 2-inch piece. And then right here, I have a piece of orange. Now, this is really kind of, I don't know if it's going to pick up on the screen as well. It's a good orange in person, but I think it's going a little bit yellow on the screen. But in real life, it's a great orange. And you're also going to need just a tiny piece of craft paper cut into the shape of a stem. And I just freehanded that. I think a stem is pretty easy to freehand. So, let's get started. You'll also need one other thing. You're also going to need a paper trimmer. Now, you don't have to do it this way. I just find this is the easiest way to do it. So, I'm going to show you. I'm going to take my paper trimmer, and I'm taking an 8.5 by 11 piece of craft paper, okay? And I'm going to place it into the paper trimmer. And because I'm using a 2-inch scallop circle, I'm going to line this up at 2 1/8 inches. And I'm going to slice this into strips. So, I mean, I'm just barely going over the 2-inch and making strips. Really quick and simple. And you really can't quite go all the way down, so we just kind of stop there. The reason I did that is because when you're making your scallop circles, you want to be able to use the whole piece of paper. And if you just start punching, you won't quite get to do that. With this method, you can use one sheet of 8.5 by 11 craft paper. So here's what I do. I'm just going to turn this over, put my paper in, and I like to turn it over where I can see it, because easily you can get off, because see, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not all the way in like there at the top. I'm not covering that. So you want to make sure that all parts of the scallop have paper, and then punch. So you get a nice scallop. And I'll show you. You just want to make sure there's paper in your punch everywhere. Like so. And you should be able to get 4 from each strip, which is perfect. And notice you don't really have a lot of waste when you do it this way. So you might want to say this would make a great stencil for inking or something like that. And then you're going to do that with the rest of your sheets of paper. So you had 5 strips. You get 4 hearts. You get 4 scallop circles from each strip. So that gives you 20. And that's just exactly how many you need for this project. Okay, so I've already done that. I've already punched a bunch of circles because I wanted to kind of move through it faster. And now, here's what you do. This is my technique for this. You're going to take your bone folder, and I was going to score every one of these on my little tiny, my mini Martha Stewart, and I'm like, that's going to take forever. So here's what I figured out, and you guys will be like, I already knew that trick, but we'll see This is my new thing. Okay, so I'm going to put my finger on one scallop knowing that that's where I'm starting. Then I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is where I want to go, 8 scallops away. So I'm going to place my bone folder in that 8th indentation and where my finger was. And now I'm going to do is just bend this over, and I have a perfect score. You're going to do the same thing again. You're going to use the part where you bent it. That's your first scallop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're going to lay your bone folder on that 8th one and line it up in that other scallop you just created and fold. Now your last one's really easy. You just put it to the other 2 lines and fold, and you'll see that that comes together really well. So you have all your fold lines made really simple. Pretty cool. I also got, because I did so many of these, I got to the point where I could do 3 at a time. So this is 3 stacked up. And you'll get to the point where you pretty much memorize where 8 scallops are. So I'm going to start again at this indentation. This is number 1 scallop. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to lay this on the 8th one, bring it to my scallop that I'm counting, and then just fold it onto itself. Same thing again, number 1 scallop, 8, lay it into the curve, up there where I started it, and fold it. And this last one, like I said, very easy, just to the 2 scallops you folded already, and there you go. You have them all in your triangle shape. Now, like I said, I did 3, so you can really go back and, you know, fold these again if you need to. Now, I have already, for time's sake, done what we needed. Okay, so this is a whole bunch of them all stacked up together. The only thing you might want to do is just go back and kind of pick them up separately. If you do a bunch in a pile, like I did, like these, you can tell I did multiples together. So you just kind of want to do this number with them and get them good and bent. So let's get them all out. And there are our shapes to build our pumpkin. I'm just going to move this up. They look like nachos. Okay, we'll put them aside and pick up one. Now what we're going to do is using Tombow Mono, or whatever you like, whatever adhesive you like. This one just works really good for me because it's quick and easy. I'm going to rub, not a lot. You want it to be thin enough to dry quick, but you also want it to hold well. So now, for your pumpkin to look good all the way through, what you want to make sure that you do, looking at it from the side, is line your scallops up each time. Also, you want to make sure that your adhesive, whatever kind you choose to use, is all the way to this edge and all the way to this edge. If you don't, you're going to have a lot of holes showing through your pumpkin, which is not a big deal because you're going to fill it with candy anyway, but that's how you want to start. Okay, so you'll take the next one. Again, making sure you got adhesive at the top and the bottom. Pick up a scallop, line them up, and take your time to line them up because they're really cute when the scallops all match. Then the next one. Oops, that was 2. You'll know if you, you know, run out if you used them incorrectly, so. Okay, and then we're going to put one more in here. This time we can do both sides. I swear this looks like cheese on the video, but I promise it's more orange in person. Line that up. I suggest you line one side up at a time and kind of hold it and let it dry because you can't really do both at the same time. There we go. So this is our top section. Isn't that cute? I think it's cute just like that. You could use that some way if you had an idea for something that just needed that little pointy top. Okay, now we're going to keep building. Now I'm going to put this part through fast forward. I'm going to do it not too fast. I want you to be able to see what I'm doing, but I'm just going to speed this part up for you. Okay, so here you can see that we've got a nice pumpkin shaped circle going. I'm going to leave this hole open because I want to be able to put some candy in there in just a second. But before I put the candy in, I want to let it sit aside and dry. So you saw how I just kept going and kept going and kept going until it created the circle. One thing I suggest is the first time you do it is just kind of look ahead, like put this down and say, nope, this isn't the right size, keep building. You can kind of see when it gets to the shape it's supposed to be, like that, okay? So I'm going to put that aside while we work on the other part and let it dry a little bit. Green strip of paper, our EK Success punch, and you don't have to have like the whole strip of these, so I do like to sit these down because you have to punch them pretty hard. How many of these you use is really up to you. You may want more or less leaves. So there's our leaf strip. Ooh, look at our mess. And I probably got glue on my mat because of that combo, but that's alright. Clean it off later. Okay. What I like to do, because I'm going to put this on the top of the pumpkin, the first thing I like to do is kind of slide your fingernail up this to kind of make it curl like you would if you were curling ribbon, to go in and get that curved shape into it. So you see how that's really starting to curl when I do that? The more you do that, the curlier it will get in a circle. And then what I do is I only want this top part to be about 5 leaves. So I kind of make that into like a little 5-leaf crown by turning it back on itself. I'm going to show you that again. I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 leaves. This leaf and this leaf are going to be on top of each other, and that gets me the perfect circle that I need. So I'm going to hold those two together, and then I don't even need scissors. I'm just going to tear it away. Back to my Tombow and just adhere that down. I'm getting low on this stuff, and I always get too much. You can tell I'm getting a little frustrated with myself tonight. I'm sloppy. Okay, so there's my little leaf crown, which I'm going to sit aside for a minute. Alright, and then I'm going to take my stem that I made, and I mean, I literally just took a piece of paper and just went cut, 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 and made this stem shape. And at the very bottom, I'm going to fold roughly a 1/4 of an inch. I'm just making a little fold for glue. That's all I'm doing, okay? And you could do this now if you want to. I'm going to wait, but you're just going to glue this little piece down to the topper that's going on to your pumpkin, but I'm going to wait a second. So let's get the candy. Okay, so here's my candy, and I probably won't be able to put all that in, but we'll just keep putting in whatever we can. This is some autumn mix taffy I picked up at a dollar store, and I thought it was really cute colors. And it's kind of got some weight to it, but it's not real big, so you can really, you know, let this feel really substantial. But you can put anything in here that, you know, your kids like or you like or whatever. Okay. There was a lot of candy that went in there, and now it weighs a lot, and I like that. It's kind of substantial, like I said. Okay, so now it's time to glue the last piece on. It's kind of like a pumpkin pinata. So when the kids get it, they just get to rip into it. So all this work for them to rip into it, but it's so cute, and it'd make a really cute teacher's gift because you could they could sit it on their desk or whatever. Maybe leave it there for the, you know, teachers don't have to have candy quite as much, especially when it's not chocolate, right? So, okay, so here's our pumpkin, and then you decide where you want it to sit. And see, I like how much of the top shows on this one, so I want it to sit like this. You could put it like this if you wanted to. That's fine. If you want the stem to come out of here, that'd probably be really, really cute. But I'm going to use this section in here for mine. What I'm going to do, first, I'm going to put some glue onto my leaf crown. I'm just going to... The good thing about this Tombow is you don't have to have a lot if you can ever get just a little out. I'm the worst about it because I get kind of heavy-handed. Right along the edge. Then sit that inside of that topper triangle and just let that dry. Okay, so while that's drying, I want to hold it down kind of tight at first. I'm going to take these little leaves and tear them apart, giving me individual leaves. My fingers are so sticky, I can't stand it. Okay. Everything's just sticking. Okay, so taking the individual leaves, I'm going to bend them a little bit. And the bend is kind of, let's see if you can see that bend. I'm going to put the glue on the inside of the bend, kind of low to the bottom. Okay, so for some reason my camera went to standby, but here's what I had done. After I tore those apart, I just put a little glue on the end of this little flat piece. Let's just get some glue on it, like so. And you just pick a spot around the little leaf crown that you made where you'd like to fill in with some extra leaves and just place that inside and let it sit. So I've done that with a bunch of leaves in there, and you'll see that in just a second. So then you just let them dry, and it's really important that you let them dry in place or you're just going to make a mess when you start to do this next part. So sit it aside and let it dry and then come back to it. Now once all the leaves are dried in place, what you'll start to do is just bend them over just so that you can see them better. And those first ones you can really bend them over because they're so far out there. And remember, this is a gift for someone just to tear open, but there's your leaves all spread out. And then the last thing you have to do is just take your little stem and stick it inside and glue it down. Just hold it there for a minute while your Tombow adheres. And there you go, a little pumpkin, and it's so cute. And I even thought about what you could do is ink the edges if you wanted to. This is not white core paper, so I think it's really cute the way it is, but you could ink the edges or add some little twirlies or anything you want to do. This is just kind of the first little, my first attempt at this. So who knows what they may turn out like next time. But there's the little pumpkins. I think they're so cute, and I'll show you pictures of them. And I hope you guys enjoy and have fun making them.
Thanks for watching. Have you been to maymaymatic.com? See you there.